everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to explore something new related to technology and whatever the things which we are using on a day-to-day life. Let me ask you one question. Have you ever logged into any of your website without even entering your password, just with some authentication code, or just by clicking a button you automatically would just log in, right? Have you ever done that? Or maybe have you used your Alexa or Siri to check what is your weather in your city? And even some of you might have used online payment. Not some of you, everybody nowadays uses online payments. We used to make payments using UPI apps like Google Play, PayPal, etc., right? But guess what? You have already started using API in every single day of your life without even you realizing about that. So, well, what does an API really mean? Or why are we using it? Well, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to take you through what does API actually mean in a very simpler term so that you will never forget about it. And also I'll walk you through why we are using Google Cloud to automate our everyday tasks. So let's get started. So now let's answer the very big question. What is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. So to make it in a very simpler term, let me take an example of an ATM. Every one of us used to use ATM on a day-to-day life, right? So what do you do when you go to your ATM? You just insert your card, put in the request, and you will withdraw the amount, right? So the ATM doesn't hold any of our money. Obviously, it holds cash, but it will not give cash to anybody who enters in, right? So it will talk to the bank system behind the scene, check about your account. It will just verify your profile, check your account balance, and then given the information, it will process everything in the back end and then gives you the cash. After that, we will withdraw the cash, right? So ATM basically acts like an API between you and your bank. So similarly, when we use any of our Google products or any other application or website, everything is happening using Google's API. So now we have understood what an API really means. So now let's get into why should we use Google Cloud API. First thing is first, it is trusted by millions of users. Everybody in this world use Google products. It's very secure, reliable. Second of all, it is free of cost. Most of the API like Google Drive, Google Sheet, Gmail, everything has no limits and it is totally free. That's the main reason we are using Google Cloud API. Obviously, there are some limitations, but when you're getting it started, it is completely free. So, and also the integration, it is ready to integrate. It works seamlessly with different automation tools like N8N, Zapier, Zendesk, anywhere. It is really easy to integrate Google's API. And last but not the least, the reason that we are using Google Cloud API is it is very powerful. You can connect your spreadsheet, apps, and even API models which has Google data. So it is very easy to use. Now let me quickly share my screen and walk you through how you can create the API keys. First, in your Google search, you can search Google Cloud. And when you search Google Cloud, on top you can see Cloud Computing Service. Just click that and now you will be entered into the Google Cloud dashboard. So first of all, you're going to sign into your Google Cloud account. First, let's get started for free. So right now, first thing, it is asking you to sign in your country. After that, you just click enter. And also Google Cloud will give us the free $300 credit limit for the next 90 days. But you just don't have to enter any of your payment information into it. So I'll show you how you can log into Google Cloud without entering any of your payment information. So simply click agree and continue. So here it is simply asking you to enter your payment information. But I told you, right? You just don't have to enter any of your payment information. You just click start free. Here it just says one-time payment. You have to make some prepayment in order to get approved, but that is completely not necessary. So you just can click the start free button and automatically it will ask your contact information. So you can just type in, since you are an individual, you can just type the profile type as individual and your name, and just type in any of street number, the city which you are in, code, and then any of your state, and then click save. Once that is done, again it will ask you to enter, click this start free button. Tada! You're inside your Google Cloud account without entering any of your payment details, right? So this is how the dashboard will look like. So first we have to create our project. Okay, so for that I'll click on top, my first project, and this is going to be your first project. So you can simply create your project. That's nothing but your project name. So I'm going to click new project, and here I'm going to give the title of my project. So I'm going to do automation. So, and then if you want, you can just enter the organization. As of now we haven't have any organization, so we can keep that as such, and then create. So now the project automation has been created. So you can just select that project simply by clicking this notification, or you can just click here and then select this. As of now it is the default one which got selected is my first project. So now you can click this automation. So automation project has been selected. So now what you can do is click on the top, this 3-digit, and here go to API and services. Now we are going to create key. So for that, or API key, for that we are going into this API services by just clicking this API and services, and then you have to go for auth consent screen. So here it will be empty. Click get started. Now give your app name, which is nothing but Google Sheets or Google Drive, anything. In our case I'm just giving automation API, and then you have to give your email ID, the one which you have logged in. That email ID you have to click select and then click enter. So audience is basically what type of audience, who is going to test this. So always we will keep that external. For internal you should have submitted your organization. That's when you will be choosing internal. Since we haven't created any organization, I'm going with external, and then I'm clicking next. And right now you just have to enter your email address and then click next. After that click agree and then continue. Now you can click create. So once this has been created, you will get your IDs. Successfully we have created OAuth organization. Right now you have to create client. You just have to navigate to this client, and then you have to click create client on the top. So now it will navigate into the next page where you'll be giving what type of application you're going to use. So this is nothing but what type of, is it related to Android API or Chrome extension API, likewise. So we default will be using web application as the type of application, and then we will give the client name. So I'll just give it as automation client ID, and then I just have to click this create button. So now your client ID has been created. So this is going to be your client ID, and this is your client secret, and the created date, all of those things. And you can also download it as a JSON file. So I'll go ahead and download that as a JSON file and keep it in my system for me to use it in the future. Okay, so now let me click OK. So now we have successfully created the client ID for our automation. So now what we are going to do is we have to enable the API for different tools like Google's Drive API, Google Sheet API, or Gmail API. Only if we enable the API, we can able to use it. Okay, so now what we are going to do, again we will go back to API and services by clicking on the top. Right now you are inside your automation thing, and now let's enable the API and services. Either you can just click enable API services, and here you can just enter your app name, or you can simply type it on the search box. So I'll type here, first I want to enable Google Drive's API. So I'll type Google Drive. So here you're getting first one, Google Drive API, right? So just click that and you have to enable it. This means your Google Drive API will be enabled. So right now the Google Drive's API has been enabled. See, the status has been turned into enabled. So here you can see the quota and system limits. So system limits is nothing but on a everyday basis how much you can use, how much queries that you can put in likewise. So for Google Drive, we have per minute, we have around 12,000 values of quotation which we can use on a daily basis. Likewise, we have a quotation for each and every single apps that we're going to go. Now let's enable API for Google Sheets. Google Sheet API, and here the first one is going to be a Google Sheet API. Others or other APIs, but we are concentrating only on the Google Sheet. So I'll click the Google Sheet API and then I'll hit the enable button. Likewise, I'll go ahead and do for Gmail as well as calendar. The reason I'm going to do that is because in the next video I'm just going to take you through how you can automate using these 4 platforms. So that's the reason I'm enabling all these API right now. Let me add Google Calendar. So now I'm going to add Gmail as well. So let me simply type Gmail API here and I'll click enter. Yeah, here it is. And clicking enable. So all of your 4 products has been enabled. The API access has been enabled. So you can just see all of those things at the bottom. So you can see here Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, and Google Sheet API. All of those things has been there. And if you want to see what is the quotation for each of those things and its status, you can just simply click on that API. Here it will show all the traffic based on the code which you're going to run, and here is going to be your daily limits. So in terms of Google Sheet, you have a read request per minute which is around 300 values. You can't exceed that, and if suppose you exceed this limits, you don't have to worry. The next day it will again get refreshed, so you just don't have to worry. This it's not like 300 is going to be for your entire lifetime. No, it's not like that. It's for one per day. It's going to be like 300 values. Likewise, you just have different quotas for different things. So this is how you see what is your limits and all that. Well, your project is now ready. You have now created credential, a consent screen, and an API is being enabled for all different Google basic Google products. Well, congratulations. Your first step towards the API world is being unlocked. Now, in my next video, I'm just going to show you how you can actually connect these Google Drive, Google Sheet into your automation. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.